with us slowly approaching arguably the most insane version update yet, given the absurd amount of banners available, the content to expect within a brand new region, and more specifically due to a brand new combat mechanic being introduced. For some, the off-tune mechanic is something to look forward to since it provides a brand new layer to combat, but to others it of course leads to concern regarding how this may affect future characters. The impact of this mechanic is something we'll only know when version 3.0 does release, but what is certain is the fact Mornye is going to be a support with abilities revolving around the off-tune mechanic, so that does immediately boost her value as quite possibly the most valuable unit in version 3.0. But alongside that, it's been stated that she is also great alongside other resonators in general, so as our newest universal support that a lot of players may want to consider next update, I'll be going over what we do know so far with her kit and abilities alongside the sort of versatility she will hold. Then I'll be wrapping it up with her overall value and whether Mornye is really a must-pull character in version 3.0. As always, if you are interested in more WutheringWaves content, would very much appreciate it if you could subscribe and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. But just before we do dive in, if you are looking to pick up some Lunites to prepare for some of the upcoming banners in version 3.0, then you may want to check out this sponsor. Lootbar is a safe and reliable top-up platform that allows you to pick up in-game currency for an even lower price than in-game. Such as with WutheringWaves, you are able to pick up selected items with up to 23% off. So if you are thinking about picking up some Lunites or even just renewing your Lunite subscription, then you may as well pick it up from Lootbar and save some money. All you need to do is head to the website and click on whichever pack you would like to pick up, then fill out your game account details, choose your preferred payment method, and in a couple of minutes you will receive your Lunites. Also, it's fair to mention the double top-up bonus will be provided even when going through Lootbar, so you aren't missing out. Lastly, new users are eligible for a 10% off coupon along with a bunch of other coupons for an extra discount. So again, if you are looking for a quick and safer way to pick up discounted game currency than other websites, be sure to check out Lootbar through the link in the description. Now, as we do already know, Mornye is a fusion broadblade resonator, which doesn't really mean anything since you will hardly see her broadblade, and since she is going to be a universal support that will work with every attribute. As mentioned, she does have abilities that revolve around the off-tune mechanic, so she likely will be at her best with units that can make the most use out of the off-tune mechanic. But again, there are going to be some aspects of her kit that do provide universal value. With her resonant skill in specific, she is able to put up a force field to parry enemies, and in doing so will nullify damage and heal allies. Additionally, it's been stated from content creators that had early access to version 3.0 that Mornye will be able to provide a damage amplification and certain damage bonuses, hinting at the fact that she will likely provide a general damage amplification through her outro, which will be huge towards her being a versatile support. On top of that, there is going to be a new echo set tailored for Mornye that further improves her universal value. The Halo of Starry Radiance 2-piece effect will increase healing bonus most likely by 10%. Then with the 5-piece effect, healing an ally increases attack for resonators in their team based on the current off-tune build-up rate. Now every resonator will have a certain off-tune build-up rate. Perhaps there will be characters with a higher off-tune build-up rate than others, and of course I'd expect certain characters to impact their allies' off-tune build-up rate. Regardless, the fact is every character will have a certain off-tune build-up rate, and so if they do scale off attack, then this echo set is going to allow all resonators in the team to deal more damage. So with those aspects of Mornye's kit alone, it does allow her to be a great support that can synergize with most characters. But then of course, steering towards the off-tune mechanic, it's undeniable that she will provide greater value to her allies. So now just breaking down this off-tune situation, from what we know, every resonator will be able to build up off-tune level on enemies, and once reaching the limit, enemies will then enter the mistune state and resonators will have the ability to use a tune break skill, which is that new animation shown off in the recent livestream, and upon dealing a tune break skill, it will interrupt enemies to deal a burst of damage and will reset their off-tune level. Then what was mentioned was the fact some resonators can inflict a shifting effect, and when dealing their tune break skill, it will throw enemies into either the tune ruptured interfered state or tune strained interfered state. Both states will lead to different effects and buffs, such as possibly providing additional attack to all allies or for that resonator dealing the tune break skill alone. Regardless, it's been confirmed that Lene will have the ability to shift enemies into either state depending on the mode she is in, which does hint at the fact one state will be more for a main DPS and the other will be more for a sub DPS or support. As for the rest of the resonators, it hasn't been confirmed whether they will be able to shift enemies into either one of those states, since they possibly could just be able to tune break enemies and that would be it. Now the reason why this is also important is the fact that Mornye will inflict certain debuffs on enemies depending on whether they're in the tune rupture or tune strain interfered state, which currently means Lene is going to synergize extremely well with Mornye as you might have expected. But secondly, if Lene remains as the only character with this ability when 3.0 does release, then other resonators won't be able to take advantage of the debuffs Mornye can inflict. For me at least, I do believe there will be other resonators that can shift enemies into either the tune rupture or tune strain state, especially since the fact that Lene switching between shifting enemies into either state will still be huge towards her overall value, so it really doesn't matter whether resonators will be able to shift enemies into just one of those states. However, even if other resonators can't shift enemies into either one of those states, it doesn't really stop Mornye from being a great unit overall. Just as an example with Yuno and the fact that she can only provide a massive 40% damage amplification towards Augusta, she still remains to be an incredible sub DPS and can synergize with various characters despite not providing such a huge damage amplification. Also, with resonators just dealing tune break in general, it's still going to be a great mechanic for every character since it will be an additional burst of damage that can interrupt enemies' attacks, which could definitely come in clutch if you do time it to be dealt just before you receive a massive attack. So with all things considered, and if worse comes to worse with the fact that Lene remains as the only character that can shift enemies into either the tune strain or tune rupture state, the fact is there will be more resonators in the version 3.x updates that can shift enemies into either one of or perhaps both of those states, which means even if you don't pick up Lene, you will most likely acquire a character or two not long after Mornye that can make full use out of her kit's abilities. So ultimately, from what has already been revealed, Mornye does provide enough to be considered as a great support for various compositions, but most definitely you can expect her to provide much more value through her kit that will be revealed within version 3.0. Overall, Mornye is going to be a great support that is expected to provide various damage bonuses, a damage amplification, heals allies, and of course depending on the tune state enemies are in, she will be able to inflict debuffs or provide additional buffs to allies. Then of course with the brand new Echo set, she will provide an attack bonus to all resonators. So it's clear to see she will have a pretty stacked kit, and bear in mind we still don't know everything she is capable of. Though even with her abilities and effects aside, some of her animations are actually insane for a support, and the fact that she is able to fly freely whilst dealing attacks with massive range, it will certainly allow her to have an extremely comfortable playstyle and shouldn't have much of an issue with completing her rotation. So from the value she provides through her abilities to her aesthetics, Mornye is certainly a resonator a lot of players, if not every player, should definitely consider. I am a believer that supports such as the Shorekeeper and Verena are still going to allow you to clear all content and will synergize even with newer characters. But if you are especially looking to gain the most value from the off-tune mechanic, or even perhaps do just want another universal support, then Mornye is certainly going to be a character you should consider next version update. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe for more WutheringWaves content, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Also, do drop a comment down below on your thoughts on Mornye and the value she holds. And yeah, hope to catch you guys later.